been a while. It's the Stories and Wine, where I come and drink $3 wine, tell mostly horrifying stories about my life, and call it art. Because when you think about it, my life actually is kind of a Jackson Pollock painting. Anyway, it's Valentine's Day. This is a very special Valentine's episode of Stories and Wine. Because love is in the air, and I think that we should tell a love story, right? Let's tell a love story. Get your boo, get your wine, and let's have Cupid hit us with an arrow. I think you guys will like this one. So this past fall, I want to say this was early September, I had to stop at my favorite place on this planet, Publix. Shout out East Cobb Publix. I had to stop, and for whatever reason, I had to buy flowers. And I was at the flower, like the little flower section of the Publix. Shout out if you guys got grocery store flowers from your boo. I didn't get grocery store flowers from anyone. Want to know why? Awesome. Anyway, so I'm there picking out flowers. I can't remember why I was picking out flowers, but I was. And this little old man on a Jazzy scooter, those little Jazzy scooters, he rolls up to the flower department, and I have to say, I was looking banging that day. Like, I had the good hair. This was before I got, like, super fat and, like, unhappy, so I still had, like, the long tan leg. I looked good. I had the short shorts and the wedges, and I was looking good. This man had impeccable taste. So he comes up, he had to have been 139 years old. And I say that because how cute. I mean, he was so cute. He's like Don Knotts. So I was like, get in my pocket. I love you. I'll adopt you. So he comes up to me, meet me on his little scooter, and he's like, I just want you to know, I think you are the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. Clearly, his eyesight was failing him. And he's like, if only I were 30 years younger, I'd have a shot. And then I'm like, how old do you think I am? 30 years younger, your stuff still makes you 90. But I was gracious because he was just cute as a button. And I'm like, oh, thank you, I'm flattered. And he's like, why are you getting yourself your own flowers? Don't you have a boyfriend or a husband that can, no woman should be buying her flowers. I'm like, well, these aren't for me. These are for someone. I don't even remember who. Sorry if they were for you. I'm like, these aren't for me. But thank you. Anyway, and so he's like, so what brings you out in the world? And I'm like, well, I'm coming home from work and doing my normal grocery shopping. I had to pick up flowers. And he's like, work? A pretty girl like you shouldn't have to work. You should have a fella taking care of you. And I'm like, well, that's sweet, but you see, it's 2017. Well, it's 2016 back then. And we've been allowed out of the kitchen. We have the right to vote. And so he's like, what do you do, sweetheart? Tell me what you do. Pretty girl like you. And I tell him what I do for a living. And I don't know if he understood what it was I did for a living. Because I didn't say, like, churn butter. And so he goes on this, like, long diatribe. You know how when older people start talking and then they just like keep talking and you stand there and you're just being polite and you're like, yeah. So I did that and I'm like, well, maybe my office could help you out. Sounds like you have I was just like, eh. Then he's like, sweetheart, do you have a business card? And I'm like, no, because I'm not at work. And I don't usually get hit on in a Publix by a 100-year-old dude on a Jazzy scooter. I'm like, no, I don't have any business cards on me because I keep them in my briefcase and I only have my wallet. But I will write down my office number on the back of this receipt. And if you feel like you need our services, call the office anytime. So I run into him a few times as I'm doing my laps through the Publix, getting the rest of my groceries. And we go out to the parking lot, and I'm walking out to my car, and he's going out to his, like, 1932 Studebaker, and I'm like, bye, it was great to meet you, and, he knew my name, because I introduced myself, and I shit you not, you guys, I live 8 minutes from the East Cobb Publix, and I didn't even get home before my paramour at the time, who happened to have had the calls from the office forwarded to him, calls me and he's like, "Who's old dude? And what's he talking about taking you to lunch? Like what's going on?" And I was like, oh my God. So I tell the one who should not be named, who took the original call, I was like, oh, he was a sweet old man that I met in Publix. And I told him the whole story, and he's like, oh, that's sweet. Odd that he called right away. I'm like, yeah, well, he was like 113 years old. I mean, and I'm like, and you know how I spark the amore in men. He's like, I'm like, I am wearing shorts. So anyway, fast forward the next couple of days. Now, I had been in the field a lot, so I was genuinely not in the office, and my assistant was taking my calls. And bless her heart, she was being so cute. She's like, no, Jennifer honestly isn't in the office. She's in the field. And I was. And so this poor older gentleman thought I was avoiding him. And he never left a phone number, and he never left a way for me to contact him. So I was really busy at this time, and this was a tumultuous time that I was very busy, and I just didn't have time for old dude from Publix. And he'd called like 5 or 6 times over the span of 2 or 3 days, and I just hadn't had time to get back to him, because when we were in Publix, he'd been like, oh, sweetheart, I'm going to take you to lunch, and I was like, if you want to be my sugar daddy, I am not above that. You don't want me to work? Okay. I'll be your Anna Nicole Smith. It's fine. I have no morals. So, eventually, he thinks I'm avoiding him, and he calls my assistant, and she's like, sir, you keep calling for her. I can vouch for her. She is not blowing you off. She is insanely busy. And she doesn't even handle what you want to have handled. You can talk to me. He flips his shit. He went bonkers. He's like, you tell Jennifer that I think she's a tramp, a liar, and never to call me. And I was like, so my assistant, like, tried to find, because I don't know if you guys know this about me, I'm a little intimidating, I'm a little scary, you know. So this assistant was the timid, very sweet one, and she was like, so I get to the office, and she's like, okay, I don't know how to tell you this. She's like, I wouldn't normally even tell you this. She's like, but this guy's kind of scary. And she goes and she tells me the whole, like, last phone call that I'm a Jezebel and a liar, and, you know, I led him on, and I'm like, I met him for 5 minutes in a Publix. Like, what? He's 134, I'm 37. What? I've already got a paramour that is completely taking up my entire life. I don't want no more problems. So yeah, Jezebel, population me. I feel bad. Like, I wish I would have had the time to call, but he literally gave me 3 days, and I don't know, just I broke an old man's heart, and I didn't even mean to. I was just buying groceries, but who knows? He could have been the one. Maybe this is why I'm going to watch Bridget Jones' Diary with Lewis and eat cheesecake on Valentine's Day this year. Old dude was the one who got away. That love story didn't end out so well, but our love story is going strong, right? Because I love you, you love me, we love wine, and you love your moment of Jen, right? Don't make me call your assistant and call you a Jezebel. Anyway, thank you for watching. You can find me on ymojen.com. The Your Moment of Jen podcast returns this week with awesomeness. And I just hope you guys all have a wonderful Valentine's Day. I actually like Valentine's Day. What I love most about Valentine's Day is the day after Valentine's Day, because all the chocolate is 70% off. Maybe I'll go get some at Publix and meet the love of my life in the floral department. Only me can be polite and get called a whore. What is it about this face that just says whore? Tell me. Because you guys remember when I was cast as Mary Magdalene in Jesus Christ Superstar? This is exactly the casting call for that movie. It wasn't a movie, it was a play. All right, so I went to the audition and the casting, and they pointed at me, and they went, "We've got our Mary Magdalene." And it had nothing to do with my singing or my talent. It had to do with the way I look. Apparently, this screams biblical whore, even though we know Mary Magdalene wasn't really a whore. She was amazing. She was Jesus' wife. I don't know why I went there. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next week. Bye.